In today's episode, we're going to be talking about muscle contractions. What makes the muscle contract and what makes it release. In the past episodes, we have talked about neurons and the sodium-potassium pump. So essentially what we know so far is that a signal goes through our sodium-potassium pump and it goes through the threshold, sends up to the action potential, shoots the signal through the neuron, and the neuron comes back down. Start with the head of the dendrites, comes down to the axon. And in the axon, there's these little synaptic knobs. And the synaptic knobs, they go over this little dip. And that dip is your T-tubule. It's part of your sarcomere. What that is, that has the receptors in it. And those receptors attach to the sarcoplasmic reticulum. Whenever the sarcoplasmic reticulum, it will release, when it gets that signal, it will release calcium. And that calcium combines with tropomyosin. What tropomyosin does is it unlocks. What calcium does, when it combines, it unlocks the tropomyosin globular heads, and they're able to start with the contractions. So, right here, I have it wrote out. Comes through the T-tubule, sarcoplasmic reticulum, releases calcium, and then it binds with tropomyosin, unlocking these little globular heads, right? This globular head, it attaches with myosin. Yeah, it attaches with myosin. It's a myosin filament. And what it does is it pulls itself. It pulls the muscle, which is on the Z disc, it pulls it in when these muscles contract. So like how I have on two sides over here, one side will come in and then the other side will come in. What they do is they need to use ADP to produce this force, ADP plus pi, but you use your ADP whenever you make this force right here, and to fulfill the actual full pull, you're going to use your pi. And then once that's contracted in, the release is going to be whenever ATP binds with the myosin, and where it will release it, and it'll cause that process to start all the way over. So you'll use ADP, boom, release, ADP, release. Yep. And then what I failed to go over is in this diagram, the little squiggly filaments, those are called titin. They're the heaviest of the filaments, and they attach to the actin. And the actin is what the tropomyosin heads are connected to. And then these little free-floating things are your myosin. And when the globular heads touch it, they pull that myosin in, causing a contraction. All right. To explain muscle contractions, I'm going to be doing just a regular strict curl. When I send the signal through the sodium-potassium pump and it goes through the threshold and it sends the signal, the EPSP, to my biceps and triceps to tell them to start firing off. What that does is it goes into goes down the neuron, into the transmitters, and then the sarcoplasm, into the whole myosin thing that I just explained. And that's how this workout is going to work with this module.